Hello, everyone. We are here and we are live tonight and we are excited. Oh, look at this. StreamYard has now a full screen mode for us in the studio. That's very cool. And that's nice. I'm going to use that a little bit. I'm just discovering things all night. But anyway, not important. You guys don't care about that. You guys all have full screen mode right there on your phones or your TVs or your computers or whatever you're watching on. Anyway, I am Josh Consalvo. I am here tonight with my three best friends. We were supposed to have four best friends, but the fourth best friend isn't here yet. We'll see if that person shows up. Otherwise, I'm here with Gray, Max, and Mitchell for our big announcement. How are you three boys tonight?
Couldn't it be better, Josh?
Amazing. I'm ready. I'm so ready.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. This has been a night in the making for quite some time. Pretty much after every season, we're like, all right, are we be able to do it then? I'm like, yeah, maybe we're getting there. But tonight is the night. For some people out there in the BBH universe, some of these things are not going to be a huge surprise to you, but it is still a really exciting announcement nonetheless. Some of this might be the worst kept secret. Some of this might be the best kept secret. I don't know. I'm trying to build a whole lot because once we say it, it's said and it's out there. And then it's over. Let's do other housekeeping things as we get started. BBH 11 is right around the corner. You guys should be slowly soon starting to see some cast intro videos, which are our favorite parts. We think that they're going to bring it this season, hopefully like Quinn Teddy level of bringing it. So that should be coming up soon. So just be getting ready for that. Don't want to say too much more about that at the moment. But the season will be starting on October 1st, which is in a couple weeks. So that's really exciting. I don't really think I have anything else to do. I think we just kind of got to get down to the thing. We have a pretty big audience tonight. That is exciting. We've been hyping this up. I literally went to every season's chat today, except for 5 and 10, because those are returning seasons. So they would have already seen it, and was like, hey, I'd love to have as many players that have played this game checking this out tonight. Especially from the old school, so to speak. And that will make sense here in a little bit. Let's start with what I think really was was birthed out of an idea, probably more by Quinn than Max, but then Max was the one that really took over. I should have had. Oh, I do have it ready. Then Max. Sorry, just saw something else. Max took over and really put the pedal to the metal on making this happen, and I worked on it a little bit, but Max definitely worked really hard on this. So we are officially announcing there's two announcements tonight. So once you hear the first one, don't worry, there's another.
So much built up.
The first one is, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can all see this. We are officially announcing and unveiling the Big Brother Hometowns Wikipedia page. It is finally here. I couldn't be more pumped about this. So what you will see here on the Big Brother, I'll kind of give a brief overview. I'll let Max talk more about it. But there's everything that you want to know, everything about every season. A lot of talk about just the game in general, hosts, everything. But let me hand it over to Max, and you talk us through some of the things, and I'll thumb through it and show what's what.
Yeah. Okay. So when you go to the wiki website, which it kind of has a long URL, so we will post that in the viewing party. But when you go to the homepage, and it just gives you an overview of what Big Brother Hometowns is. And we have our little info card here, a little story about the origin of the series, and then just every bit of information you ever wanted to know about the basics of the org. Some twists that we commonly do, the main elements of gameplay that kind of, for a new player who's new to Big Brother, that can kind of help you get familiar with how the game is played. And it's just a really good baseline reference, and a little story about the viewing party as well.
Absolutely.
So then you'll see at the top there's some tabs, and let's go to the seasons first.
Okay.
If you go to the seasons, we have a link to a page of each Big Brother Hometown season. What season would you like to inspect, Joshua?
Let's go to season 10, our most recent
Okay,
season.
the most recent season.
Probably in case people we'll go to 10.
Okay, so each season has its own page with its own info card with the information about the season, a little summary of the main highlights of the season. And if you scroll down, it has the cast, where they're from. It is Big Brother hometowns, so we have to let everybody know where your hometown is. And the day that you entered the house, the day you exited, and the end result. You scroll down and then you'll see the twists that were incorporated into that season. For season 10, we had the bunkers and the steal a vote. And which is this next thing is what I have spent hours doing for every season. It is the official voting chart for each season. You can see who won head of household, who won the veto, the nominations, and how every single person voted every single time. And it is so cool because you can really see the story of a lot of these seasons play out in this voting chart, and it gives you a good bird's eye view of what happened, and you can really kind of trace different players' games through what happened on this voting chart. So I think it's really cool. I spent so much time on it, and it's cool to see finally
this
here.
is sometimes I just stare at these voting charts and I just and I learn more about some. And I have the inner I know everything that happens in each season. I pay attention to all of it, but you still learn little things about each season. Well, I don't have specific anecdotes about that at the moment, but you can just look through and see this is so interesting, or just in season 9, you're oh, I have all these unanimous votes. You look at things like this, and you're oh, who won power a lot? Who didn't win power a lot? How did that influence their end game? And did the person that won the most end up winning the game? And all these kinds of things that you can really figure out and just tell the story yourself in a lot of ways. And there'll be more ways to tell the story of each season, but this voting chart, it's super cool. It's super dorky, of course, and super nerdy, but it is super cool. And I love looking through this stuff. I love nerdy history and stuff like this. So this is a lot of fun for me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well, and can I say something?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so Max has an iconic confessional where in season 7, where he uses a map to name a replacement nomination, and one could say that these little voting charts are just like a little map to each little season in honor of Max, who did all the work, who loves maps, just a little map to every season.
Literally, guys, I have
pull them out, baby.
A road atlas, right?
Amazing.
GeoGuessr is Max Teddy's game.
It's my legacy in Big Brother. You either love it or you hate it.
So that's the voting chart. I love the voting chart. Those are really exciting. And then there's a few more tabs that we'll kind of get into. I'm gonna skip over this one real quick. You have the winners. If you clicked on this, you'll see all the winners. And that's kind of the other things. There's some things there, but the big other one I'd say is the house guests.
So this has also been a labor of love, but we've had I think the number's over 80 people play Big Brother Hometowns. So everybody who has ever played Big Brother Hometowns has their own page dedicated uniquely to them.
Let's honor the one Max Teddy.
Oh man, so here's my page. Yes, let's keep talking about me. So here's my page. I have my picture, and then I have all of my info, where I'm from. And then this is the cool part. We have all of our game statistics here. Seasons played. For me, I've been a host. Everybody has their best finish and the number of comps they've won. And if they have made the jury, then we have jury votes for, and the number of times you've been nominated. So it's kind of amusing to go look and see some of your favorites that recur in seasons, see how many times they've been nominated.
We'll keep with the M since we're right here.
There's
classic
stage
clarinet picture.
Yeah.
All his finishes, 20 votes against, not even close to the most ever. Michael asks if it's weird that he has the Mitchell Hammond page bookmarked. It is not. That's funny. I mean, we can throw some love to Mitchell Hammond. Is this picture? Yeah, his picture should be here. All his stuff. Played very well in his season. Finished 6th. And you guys, I hope that you guys are able to thumb through a lot of these. And of course, you're all going to click on your own picture. Please do look at your own stats. Look at all that. If you see any mistakes, let us know. Of course, we can fix those. But I mean, this is just it's such a cool overview of the whole game and the history of the game, which I love. Like history. I don't love history, but I love nerd history. Like I love Survivor history. I love Big Brother history. I love all this kind of stuff. And so this is really just a lot of fun.
And especially that. Oh, go ahead.
Can you click on Quinn's profile and see how did we ever figure out how many votes he has had?
So I didn't want to keep in mind Quinn Teddy has played 5 times and is always a target.
I want to see Quinn and Bradley's, and I want to see how many votes they've had against them because they're both a lot.
Quinn is the most, I think. Has 42 votes against him. And you have to keep in mind with Quinn that he's been evicted 6 times because he battled back. So, and somehow was nominated less times than Max overall. Go figure.
It's because he doesn't survive the block. I win veto all the time. That's fine.
Good point. Good point.
Okay, humble brag.
Bradley's was I think it was 20 somewhere 29-35 range of votes against. I looked yesterday.
Yeah.
So please go through the Big Brother Hometowns Wikipedia and or wiki or whatever it's called and look at all this. Tell us what fun things you find, because we might have overlooked some things, and let us know kind of what info you suss out. So that anything else to say about the wiki before we get into the next thing?
Just looking at the list of house guests, just as a good reminder of how big this community actually is and how much impact it's had, and how it's brought people from so many walks of life together, and people that would have never met each other now have formed really cool friendships. And I just think it's the coolest thing. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I second that, and it's just incredible what this game has done, and over the course of its 10 seasons, and I think it's really, really awesome.
Even Jacob gets a page.
I couldn't figure out how to delete it.
Drag him.
I think it's empty. I honestly think it's empty. Yeah,
it's empty. I couldn't figure out how to delete it. It's fine.
Oh my god, that was the season where we almost had the twin twist, but then we voted him out early enough.
We're just saving it for him for when he plays again.
Yeah, and I agree. This is what started as a group of 12 people that were friends with me has turned into a now 10-season empire, and we have all these people that have played. A lot of these people are connected to me in real life. A lot of these people aren't, and it has been cool seeing that group of people come to know each other in this weird world. We got a big audience tonight, so let's keep it rolling. We have another big announcement, and this is the one that I would say I have spent the most work on.
Yes.
And I'm not even just going to say it. I will declare it. I have worked a lot on this next part, and I'm very excited about it. So let's unstop the share for a moment. And this is kind of in junction with the Wikipedia. So if you go to the Wikipedia, you'll be able to find the next thing that we're going to announce. And the thing that I'm announcing is kind of already existed, and it's not something necessarily new, but what you're going to get when you go there is very new. So I'm going to get this up and running. I want to see this in a way that is, before I just want to make sure I can make it look right. So I'm going to actually do something real quick. Stay with us. There we go. This is exactly how I want to see it. All right. The next thing that we're announcing, and this is where it's going to take us into kind of the big thing that we're going to do this evening as we learn all about this.
What is the thing?
The thing is, the thing is, let's see, Chrome tab we want.
Jesus, Josh.
Sorry. We just got to build it up.
The way you're building the suspense
Is the Big Brother Hometown's YouTube channel. Now, the Big Brother Hometown's YouTube channel has existed for a very long time, or at least a couple seasons, because I just made one so that I could put the episodes I was making on there, and as opposed to my YouTube channel, which is not like a thing, but it's just like it needed its own place. And so what I have done, now you can see right here, this is not what you would normally see if you come to the page, because we're not always live. What here you would see an episode. But what I have done is I've gone back through history, and I dug through old diary rooms, old house chats, everywhere I could find any content whatsoever, and I have officially edited episodes for every season of Big Brother Hometown. So if you scroll down here, and so last week when Mitchell mysteriously knew all about all the seasons.
Oh my God, I thought about that.
It was not because I told him what happened.
I'm a medium. No, I'm a medium. I could see the past. Like.
So what you can do now, so I'll scroll down so you can see, is you now have access to every season of Big Brother Hometowns that has ever existed, starting all the way at the beginning with season 1. And you can scroll through here, and there's a ton of content here on the YouTube channel. It's not even just the episodes. A good example, I'd say, is if we go to here to the playlist for season 3. We don't want to play it. Whoops. Let's go. We want the actual. I want the actual.
Those pineapples.
Yes, that's a good,
the
good
iconic.
Sorry, I'm gonna unshare for a second so I can show you what I'm talking about, because I think this is all important. But there's so much, like I said, so much content that you can see. So if we were to go, like I said, to the Big Brother Hometowns 3 YouTube or playlist. I think this is a good one to show. Get you back on here. So 3, you have all the episodes, but you might see here, right here after episode 1, you have this little image of me and Baby Gray, or Baby Josh and Baby Gray in Big Brother Hometowns. That's the first ever recap show Gray and I did after the first couple days of Big Brother Hometowns 3, which Max played on and may have done pretty well on. I don't want to spoil it now that you can watch the whole season. So we have like some episode recaps. We did another one. There's several that we did, but these were the 2 like important ones. I felt like we did one right before the finale.
This is also the first season where the viewing party existed.
Yes, this was the first viewing party season. If we go here, I mean, off the block playlist. So the first 3 episodes we've done here. I think season 8 has a good bit of stuff. Like we have our cast assessment. We have all the introductions, which we have on all of them. Steven and Max did a show there. A recap show in the middle. We have a winner deep dive here at the end. Season 1 actually has some really cool content as well, because we have all the episodes, and then at the end we did deep dives with several of the players, which was just because I don't do them as much anymore. I kind of wish we should do them, but that has a ton of content, and so we could the Big Brother Hometowns YouTube page is unveiled to the world. You can go and see all of the seasons that you have not seen before. And let me highly encourage, of course, those of you that played in those early seasons, those 1 through 5, and you're like, "Ooh, I never seen this like edited together." Some of you may have had a viewing party and seen kind of what happened, but I think that these seasons do a really good job of telling the story, some things that you may have missed, things you maybe didn't watch and didn't care about at the time, but are wanting to go back and see what happened. Those of you that are just like dorks like us and want to see all this stuff. Over the past 2 weeks, Mitchell and I have watched seasons 1 through 8 in our rewatch, for our eventual off the block season ranking show, which is going to be highly contentious.
I've already been making some enemies. Can I say something about this, Josh?
Yes, please.
Firstly, this is amazing. Like, as a fan of what you've done, like as someone who came into the community later at season 6, like the ability to go back and like see the things that like I learned, like I heard about things from Abby and Quinn and Bradley, like as I played seasons with them and as I got to meet other people. I heard about these like moves and these things, and I heard about Max Petty's game, and and like some of the people who played these amazing games, but I never really got to fully understand it. And then in the last 2 weeks, like you said, I have just binged all of this content. It is so bingeable. It goes so quick. I literally can sit down and watch BB 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the matter of like 2 or 3 hours if I wanted to. And like most of us do that with a TV show anyway, and we sit and watch 4 or 5 episodes. You could literally watch a whole season in a day if you wanted to. It's so bingeable. The storytelling is great. The narratives all make sense. If you are part of this community and you have any interest in doing this, I would highly recommend going back and watching these seasons because they are fantastic and they're really well put together and they're really fun. So.
Yeah, this project was birthed out of quarantine, and when I got going on them, I just got more excited about it. It took me a while to obviously get through all these seasons the lost seasons, so to speak. Once they started coming together, I was just like, these are really fun. And then even going back and watching them over the last couple of weeks, which is weird because I made them and all that, but I watched them. I'm like, wow, these are really fun and just really good times. And it was able to, like, for me as the host who stresses a lot about Big Brother Hometowns and the things that happen in season, to then afterwards watch all this and be like, wow, this is just so cool and so much fun. So yeah, this is a project that I'm really proud of. I'm really excited about, and I hope that like I said, I hope you parse through the Wikipedia, but I really hope that you do that and then go like these two like resources go hand in hand so well together that you can like look at the Wikipedia, see kind of how the votes work, because not the episodes aren't perfect for sure, and so you can fill in a lot of gaps with the voting charts. You can just see kind of everything, and it's really cool, and I'm really excited about it. As for what we're going to do for thank you, Shane, love you very much, and Alex, I think you commented as well. What we're going to do tonight, which Mitchell has been so waiting for, and I'm very excited for. So stay with us. We're going to do something really fun. We are going to watch Big Brother Hometowns Season 1, Episode 1. I believe the title is "We're All Pawns." It is a great episode, and I'm very excited to get into it. Great season.
I have a hot take about the first episode.
Okay.
It's a top 5 BBH episode.
The first eviction of Big Brother Hometowns 1 is a trip. Like, it really is a trip. We'll set it up before we go back to it. It's a trip because it's a bunch of people that know each other and a bunch of people that are like deeply connected. Sometimes, I mean, three people that are related, 2 other people that are related. There's a dating couple at the time. There's an engaged couple at the time. There's like this other couple that was like, are they dating? We don't know. They weren't.
Siblings.
Yeah, siblings.
2 sets of siblings.
Yeah, one like sister and brother-in-law. Is like
Yeah.
You literally have every interpersonal relationship here, like outside of like parent-child.
Right.
So basically, like everything else.
And it's only 12 people, which was a really good amount for the first time. So anyway, we're gonna watch this first season. We hope that you stick with us because this is gonna be a lot of fun. And let's just get to it. So we'll stop down after probably a lot of confessionals and fill in holes and laugh about what these people said. And I'll tell you who the people are. Some of them are, they're all people that are very close to me in my real life. So I'm going to pull up the episode and make sure I get everything right on the first time. Chrome tab, share audio.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to, so like 2 weeks ago, Josh sent me this playlist. I sent him a plethora of text messages over the course of the next 12 hours as I got through this. But this season, which was long, I always told to me, like by people that were like, oh, it's the first season, it was just always a little messy. Like it was just weird because everybody knew each other. And so I really had like low expectations. And then the ride that we took in season 1 is so good, bitch. It's so good.
Like Mitchell, getting to see and experience Mitchell watch it like for the first time. I wish that like every single person that's watching this right now that will go and watch season 1 would like text us your live reactions as you're watching, because it was so fun getting to like experience that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. All right, so let's get it going. Could you guys hear that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I make a big screen. Yeah. All righty. Big Brother Hometowns, season 1, episode 1. Here it is. Sure that will pause easily. All right.
Let's talk about where I'm working in the house real quick.
First, let's just hold on.
Yeah, I'm like, stop right there.
Okay, so as you can already see, Bradley's the first head of household of the season. Second of all, I am convinced that he put this outfit on for this this diary room. Like
the diary rooms in this season have been better than any other season to date. I think like the people that are doing diary room sessions are doing them like they're on the show.
Yep.
Whenever they go to vote, they act like they're talking to Julie. Like it is like everyone that goes to vote in the
good.
is like, "Hey Josh, you look beautiful tonight," and like things like that. It's iconic.
It's so good. And like, I mean, we have the start of the like average placement third, second and a half best player ever in Big Brother Hometowns history. Starting out the very first episode, head of household Bradley, and what he's gonna do this episode is part of why he's so good at this game. And it literally starts right here in episode 1.
All right, let's hear him.
That's pretty simple. Everywhere. I'm working everywhere. I have an alliance with almost everybody in this house, but I'm only true to a few of them. Ashton and Lane, I'm true to them.
Ashton is his sister. My sister, Lane, was her boyfriend at the time. There's going to be a lot of talk about couples and like how people are paired off.
And then Chris, I'm true to Chris. As for now, that's not going to last long because Chris scares me too. But using Chris is great because everyone's going to listen to Chris. So then there's the fun alliance that actually has a name and none of them have names. And it's the monkeys in the middle. Who are the monkeys in the middle, you ask? That's everyone that's not in the, well, no. That's everyone that's not in a split in the house. And the split is obvious. It's the couples. It's the anti-couples. There's the monkeys in the middle, who are me, Tucker, Jenny, and Chris. And we got a solid number. If we get rid of one couple, we're the only group of 4. And then there's Tyler. Who's Tyler?
Great question. Who's Tyler? So a little behind the scenes of the monkeys in the middle. It is the only alliance in the history. No, maybe not, but it's probably the only alliance in the history of Big Brother Hometowns that actually I named it, because they like were like, we're in the middle, and I was like, you guys are the monkeys in the middle, and they were like, what a great alliance name, and they ran with it, and it's a very important like grouping of people. You're about to see Lane, who is a bombastic Big Brother fan that you can tell he's really acting like he's on the show.
Being so dumb.
And then there's Tyler. Who's Tyler?
Being so dumb in this game. Bradley's plans right now are to put up Ian and Daniel. Why in God's green earth would Bradley put up Ian and Daniel? It makes absolutely no sense. Ian and Allie, trust me and Ashton to the ends of the earth because we're all they have. Bradley's a package deal, and so is Jenny, and so is Tucker. We're one. We have the numbers. We can take out Chris, a huge threat. We can take out Sarah, huge threat. We can take out Sarah, huge threats. We can literally put up Daniel and Tyler, pull one of them off, make a side deal with them. They vote with us, and we throw Chris up there, get Chris out week 1. He's a huge threat. And Bradley wants to get out of this alliance when we're in, and we told Bradley, you're not going to have the numbers to win this vote. Me, Ashton, Allie, Jenny, Tucker. 5 against the 4 on the other side. All vote to keep Ian. Keep saying that, but all 12 of us are big-time players. All of us are threats in our own way. Everyone is a big player, so every move is going to be a big move. We can't just fly under the radar in this game. Like, it's impossible. Everyone is heavily involved. Bradley needs to just start thinking about these kinds of things, or he is going to be in so much trouble. Not just from people who are going to target him, like Chris and like Sarah when she's done with them, but people like Ian and me who are on his alliance.
Can you pause?
Yeah.
Okay, because this is like what, the first day?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. So there was a little bit of like pre-gaming that happened like the days leading up. So that kind of influences things a lot. There was a lot of conversations that was going on before because everyone knew who was playing. And so they were preparing themselves. But here's the big misstep from Lane is if you go back to Bradley's first original confessional, he says, all right, where am I working in the house? And the answer is everywhere. And he was. So like he wasn't concerned about Lane or like Ashton exclusively. He was covered everywhere. Like Chris was not going to turn on him. No one was turning on Bradley. So Lane has this idea like, what is he doing? He's turning on his alliance already. It's just the start. He's going to put up Ian and Daniel. And like I'm like, no, like you and Daniel is Daniel Sanchez. If you've ever watched him play, just be excited about having him on the season. So yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think like, I mean, you're starting to even just so like 2 minutes, and you're starting to see there was the two couples that were like paired together, and then there was kind of like the rest of the house. And Bradley's idea was like, let me just put up one from this side, one from that side, so that I don't really have to like choose a side. It's actually a very smart decision.
Yeah, and that there's the two couples being Ashton and Lane. This is Lane, and then Ian and Allie. And Allie was a very, very last minute addition to the cast and really changed the complexity of the whole landscape of the house because she instantly was with Ian, who she was engaged to at the time. So they're married now. It's not like they were engaged and now they're not together. They got married. Yeah, so that changed everything for that season, and Lane is very much entrenched in that, which we will see going forward.
So the Couples Alliance has officially decided to become a Final Four alliance, and we've come up with a team name. We're the Four Horsemen, because we're going to end everyone's world. I mean, game. My alliance name, I'm War, because Sarah has basically already declared war on me, so might as well fight back.
Is day 2, and we have officially made our Final Four deal.
The music. The music.
Final Four is me, Ashton, Allie, and Ian. We are known as the Four Horsemen. All of us represent a different member of the Four Horsemen. Ashton's famine, Ian is war, Allie is death, but I'm conquest, because it is my mission to conquer this entire house and take over and be the leader. Bradley,
honestly,
Sarah,
an iconic alliance name, firstly, like the Four Horsemen, that's so good. And then like Lane being conquest and being like, I'm gonna conquer this game. And he's just so serious. I just love it so much. And yeah, spoiler free zone for the rest of the season, but we'll have to see if that plays out.
Yeah, we will see. But yeah, this is a great sequence between Ian and Lane. Actually, and I think there's maybe one more.
Allie.
And Allie does come in and talk about the Four Horsemen here in a second.
Ashton, Lane, Ian, and I have created a Final Four alliance called the Four Horsemen for the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. My new name is Death because I killed Sarah's plans to work with Ian.
Second one, real quick.
Oh, okay. So there's Allie. And there's a lot of interpersonal dynamics involved there, but like, yeah, Sarah was wanting to work with Ian and them, but once Allie kind of came in, it kind of bumped Sarah and Drew, her brother, out. You know, it maybe wasn't said, but it was definitely what was going on.
Quick nominations. My thought on them. Ian's my obvious target right now. It serves a bunch of purposes. One, it gets rid of Ian. Ian scares me. He's very manipulative in the game and a very powerful player. 2, breaks up a couple, gets that group of 4 down to 3. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That's a couple gone.
Okay, this nomination video.
Yeah. So then we have the first ever nomination video. And when it happened, I'm like, I guess you're just nervous about having to do this. Like, you're the first person to ever have to say who you're nominating. So what's the best way to cover it up? With a Snapchat filter, of course. So here we go.
All right, plain and simple. 2 people going on the block. First one's going to be Daniel. I don't really know Daniel that well, so that kind of makes me a little nervous. Second person I'm putting on the block is Ian. You're a strong, powerful player. And my best advice is going to be win the
You
veto.
know.
The reason
Great advice.
I put Daniel up next to Ian is for two reasons. One, it makes my side look like he's the real nominee. It makes the other side look like he's a pawn. Ian's a pawn. Daniel's a pawn. Everyone's a pawn. I'm a pawn. You're a pawn. We're all pawns.
The best line. So,
Oh, Bradley, you're so good.
must be repeated.
My side look like he's the.
And he's right. Like he's like it makes the couple side look like Drew's the real target. It makes the anti-couples, which is what they became ultimately, which is everyone else, make it look like Ian's the real target, which he was. And Bradley gets off pretty much scot-free in these nominations right now.
real nominee. It makes the other side look like he's a pawn. Ian's a pawn. Daniel's a pawn. Everyone's a pawn. I'm a pawn. You're a pawn. We're all pawns. But if Daniel goes, that splits up the we're not a couple that is Sarah and Daniel. You can't lie to me.
Bradley has set up the entire house. Like he has them all pinned. He's just told you everything you need to know about the scope of the whole season.
Okay, and can we just talk about real quick this iconic scene right here? Daniel shirtless on his porch, smoking a cigarette.
With his horrible camera.
I cannot.
Like I don't know what was happening. It was just what a train wreck. But let's see what.
But I guess you could accurately say that describes a lot of Daniel.
Yep.
I love you, Daniel.
Yep. Accurate.
Day one, the plan to go after the couples has been outed, we think, by Ian.
We think the plan to go after the couples was outed by one of the people in the couples. What?
I love that so much.
He knows that Sarah was coming for him and Ashton.
So this morning was the first nomination ceremony, and of course, one of our Alliance's best competitors and my better half is the one who's on the block this week. So since day one, lines have been drawn in the sand.
Let me stop down real quick because Edward asks, "What are you watching?" And that's a great question. Thanks for joining us. If you're just joining us, we had two big announcements at the beginning of the night, where we announced the full Big Brother Hometowns Wikipedia page and the entire YouTube channel, stocked full of every season of Big Brother Hometowns that has ever existed. We are watching the first ever episode of Big Brother Hometowns, season 1, episode 1, to kind of just premiere the YouTube channel with all the seasons. So if you're just hopping in a little later, that is what you missed. And we're in the middle of the first ever episode. There's this war brewing between the couples, the four, Ian, Allie, Lane, and Ashton, and the rest of the house, the anti-couples. And this is Allie talking about how Ian, her now husband, has been put on the block.
Very clearly between Sarah's side of the house and everyone who's in a couple. But I think we have the numbers. As long as Bradley goes with his promise to put up Drew if Ian's taken down, I think we should be good. Here's hoping that at least Daniel goes home this week.
Okay.
Get ready.
I'm putting this out there right now. Ashton, we need you to come back for another season of Big Brother Hometowns. We need you. We need you, girl.
Yep. I'm texting her right now because she was just texting me about actual Big Brother, and I said, go to the viewing party this second. We're talking about you, so hopefully Ashton will come on. So yeah, what you're about to witness the first ever Ashton confessional, and it's a ride. I want to make sure we set it up perfectly.
Here's hoping that at least Daniel goes home this week.
Okay, I have something to say. If we're targeting couples, that's stupid. Because one, we were a couple before this freaking show, so you guys gave us no choice but to align together because you guys already targeted us. Two, Sarah and Drew are a couple, they're brother and sister. Sarah and Daniel are a couple because they're friends outside of this house and nobody else knows them. Jenny and Tucker are a couple because they're both from Anderson. Me and Bradley are a couple because we're brother and sister. Bradley and Chris are a couple because they're best friends. Literally, this whole house is filled with couples, so it's not fair to make that be a reason to evict people because we're couples outside of this house. We didn't have a chance to build relationships in the house because you guys chose to make the groups from what the outside is. So that's not fair. And if that's how you're playing this game, then you're a piece of crap.
She said, she said, "Come, I'm ready to fight."
Ashton is in the comments. Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah, she said, "You're a couple, and if you don't feel this way about it, you're a piece of crap."
That was the honorable mention for the episode title.
Yeah, you're a piece of crap. Oh man,
Ashton, I'm sorry, I don't have much sympathy for you because it was just such a convenient thing, especially with like the romantically involved couples. Like, if you were in the Big Brother house with your significant other, and I think it would turn out the same way, and that's totally fair.
Mitchell, while you have Ash's attention, tell her what you said.
Oh, yeah, Ashton, when are you coming back, girl? When's your return coming? Because like this energy that you are serving me right here is, and you serve us throughout the entire season, I need it back in my TV life. So anytime, girl, anytime you want to come. Oh, Abby!
Abby's here. Yeah, Ashton, get your butt back in this game, or you're a piece of crap. Abby, just act like you know what's going on. We're in the middle of the first ever episode, and it's. Did you watch it? You may have already watched it. So
yeah, I watched it this morning.
Oh, perfect. Ashton is typing the word "never" one word at a time, one letter at a time. It's a shame, Ashton. It's a shame. All right, we'll get more Ashton content. Don't worry. So stick with us. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. That would be helpful. Here we go.
So, update. Ian and I tossed around the idea of vetoing each other. Bradley says he's got a plan that will seem really sketchy, but to trust him. But at the same time,
You never. Okay, I love this is a strategy. This is a great strategy in Big Brother. If you're the person being told, just as advice, if you're the person being told, "Hey, like I got a plan, but you just got to trust me," that usually means one, you're not getting backdoored, but two, you're not like important to them.
No. Did you also hear what he said when he said, Ian and I threw around the idea of using the veto on each other? Oh, God. So good.
Ashton wants me to know whenever we talk about her so she can come back. I'm telling her to keep it on in the background. Yeah. And this is real, though. This is what he says is real because, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
I think he's conspiring with Lane, who is part of the couples. Now, as I understand it, Lane is dating Bradley's sister. So, fudge.
I just love Daniel Sanchez so much.
Yeah. It's so funny that you can tell that Bradley here is in the same spot, it's the same confessional, but it was a very evergreen day of confessionals for Bradley, where just like everything that you needed to know, the whole story, he basically told it. So let's hear what he says.
The couples and the anti-couples. This was obvious. This was just clear, smart, strategic game move for both sides, sort of. The couples had no choice. They're going to be targets. So they had to work together. They had to band together as many as they could, but everybody they banded to get with them is going to vote against them. Hopefully. I'm safe. I'm HOH. Anti-couples, you screwed yourself up by targeting a bigger group, but it's going to work. Numbers, real quick. 4 couples, 3 anti-couples, 4 monkeys in the middle, Tyler. Whatever. Get rid of a couple. So that makes the couples 3, the anti-couples 3, the monkeys in the middle 4. Well, we would hold the power, and I believe Ashton and Lane will still vote on my side, especially if we target the anti-couples. That knocks them down to 2. I stay in the side that has more power, obviously, as long as I'm not a target. Won't be. And one last thing to mention, the best part of it all, it goes one way or the other. Now, unless I put Allie up. If I put Allie up when Ian goes out or when anyone goes out and put both of them up, then it's clear that I have this side to choose. But if I keep the nominations the same, Ian goes home, I lie. I had no idea. clearly somebody else is the rat in the house, and somebody else is working against them, and somebody else lied. Not Bradley. Ha!
Yeah, it's just this perfect situation for Bradley where
So good.
yeah, like you get these sometimes number breakdowns, whether you're an HOH or a voter, where you can hide like your intentions and get what you want. And this is, one of those times where no matter what happens for Bradley, he can like lie his way out of it.
Now, can you tell us, was he a Big Brother person before this, or was this just like him figuring it out? Like,
he had like slightly dabbled. I think he like had seen some episodes sometime, knew the general idea. Wasn't a total newbie, like wasn't learning completely on the fly.
Gotcha.
After a great
So Daniel's on the veto.
deal of deliberation, internal conflict, and threats of grievous bodily harm, I've decided to use the power of veto on myself. This may be the obvious choice, but it didn't come lightly. Ian, sorry, but asking me to veto you was just too much to ask. Good luck.
And Daniel considered using the veto on Ian the first round of the game. That's
Can we
something.
just take a minute and like talk about the fact that his audio sounds like when you're watching a documentary, it sounds like an old like spaceship, like them talking through the intercom. That's what it sounds like.
That's exactly what's happening here. Like Daniel's whole season, every confessional, he's like on a spaceship. It's very bad, but it adds to the charm for sure of him and the season.
Bradley's going to replace Daniel with Drew, which might not be the best option, but it leaves him from looking too culpable in a potential plot against Ian. But I'm pretty sure once the vote comes out, that'll become clear. Is it a good move? We'll have to find out.
Filter number 2 for the veto replacement. Chris is also a great confessional giver. If you keep watching the season, he is fantastic. I want him back in this game so badly.
Since Daniel has pulled himself off the block, I am going to replace him with Drew.
I'm just kind of baffled as to what Bradley is thinking, putting me on the block. I thought we all kind of had a plan here, but apparently Bradley was not in on it.
Drew.
Oh, here she is.
Yeah, here we go. Ashton's winding up. Now she's going to get mad at Drew for some reason. I don't really remember, but I'm sure she'll explain it.
Apparently Bradley was not in on it.
Drew, you haven't talked to me once in this whole game, and as soon as you get put on the block, you text me. But your pitch to me was that you were targeting me. So why would I save you? You truly are a big idiot.
Okay, I want to contextualize that. That has been Drew's nickname for years and years and years and years and years. So that's not just out of nowhere. Drew's been the big idiot as long as I've known him. So, but still funny.
She's great.
So Ian just messaged me and was like telling me all these reasons why he did what he did and why he thinks that it would be bad for me to vote him out. And it just was so personal, and it makes this game so much more difficult because now I've heard directly from both Drew and Ian. So voting for either of them will feel like some sort of betrayal in real life. Ooh, this game is tough.
Can you pause this?
Yeah.
Because this is why I love season 1 so much. Oh my God, this is going to be so hard. Cut his throat. Like, it literally is like that. The whole season, it's so good.
Yeah. So this guy, and they were like, people were an emotional disaster from day 1 to whatever day we finished.
Yeah.
How was Thanksgiving? Was that fun?
Well, actually, once the game was over, the game was over. I feel like people were like done once it was done. But yeah, this is real. A lot of people had to actually like see each other like the day after they were evicting them and all that stuff.
Today, I'm more worried about winning than the fun, and that's interesting because I don't often feel that way.
Hey Josh, I vote to evict Ian.
Sarah, you've been targeted.
Just here we go.
Earbud alert.
Yeah, get ready.
It's time for me to evict your number 1. I vote to evict Drew.
Mitchell and I have both been in that room.
We have a message from Aftercare. 1, 2, 3.
So even greater about this moment is that at the time they both taught at this school, Ian and Sarah. So these were potentially like other of Ian's students that like knew him, or at least in Aftercare, like for sure, like they definitely knew who he was. So that's more behind the scenes.
Hey Josh, looking good tonight.
Queen.
Just wanted to say that I sadly vote to evict Ian. Sorry, buddy. Wasn't actually a part of your alliance.
I vote to evict Ian because Drew scares me more.
Hi, Julie. I happily vote to evict Drew.
This was the first vote.
A little more behind the scenes, you might see he's wearing what appears to be some sort of Survivor apparel. Way back in the day, Chris and I ran a Survivor Western Avenue. That was our church, and we made those little bandanas. Our friend Greg made this cool design. Yeah, more behind the scenes. Yeah,
another legend.
It feels like it might be the toughest vote. There are no good options. Either way, I'm sending a friend home, but I vote for Ian.
Hi, Josh. You look beautiful. And I very happily vote to evict Drew. Happy birthday, Dad.
Attention, house guests. This is me super formal. This is in a preschool.
Yes, baby Josh.
This is you can see Tyler's vote down here. He voted for Ian as well. So that is, the votes are in. Once I announce the vote, I just had a little slower cadence back in the day. Now I'm just chop chop. And say goodbye. And I was also very nervous because we have a very close vote. I was Ian's best man, like in his wedding. like I'm sending him home. It's contentious. Yeah. A vote of 5-4. Ian, you have been evicted from the Big Brother house. That's episode 1.
It's so good. Okay, so this is why episode 1 is the top five episode of Big Brother Hometown. Okay, you have the start of a legacy of Bradley. And so in the context of it, it's so good. You have the rise and the immediate fall of the Four Horsemen, which is like, we're going to be an alliance. Never mind, we just got clocked for being an alliance. Oh no, I'm going home. So good. And then you have the whole just allure of we're in Big Brother, we're actually playing, we're giving these Ashton's giving iconic confessionals. We're talking to Julie. We're saying happy birthday to our dad in our vote. It's just so good. It's just so good. And it's a split vote, which is amazing. And the first vote ever, a split vote. You couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with all the above. Yeah, it's just living it was very difficult because that was really stressful. And if I remember correctly, I was about to say, I think well, maybe not, but you have to keep watching because Ashton and Lane's reaction to this vote is just amazing. And just there's so much anger, there's so much emotions just charging through this entire season.
And it sets up, this sets up this emotion, this crazy game. The whole season is like this, and it just builds and builds and builds. It's so good.
And they could have very easily evicted Daniel first, and had very little consequence on any side, but they went for the gusto and went for Ian, who was the guy going in. You're oh, Ian's the one you gotta look out for. And the sad thing is Ian never comes back. We never get Ian again, and he has one confessional, which I cut a little bit because he just repeats what Lane ultimately was said about the Four Horsemen, and Lane ends up being a little bit more important because he survives his first eviction. And I would love to have Ian play this game again because I think he'd have a better experience. But yeah,
agreed.
Any of these people come back.
Yeah.
Please. Any of them.
And in this season, you have, several people that are important in the Big Brother Hometowns lineage.
Jenny. We didn't even get a confessional from Jenny.
Yeah, no Jenny confessional in that whole episode. Jenny's never been the best consistent confessional giver. When she gives them, they're great, but she doesn't give them a lot. But obviously Bradley, a big, like one of the top people. Like
and
we
Sarah is pivotal in
Sarah
future seasons, and we didn't hear from her. So like
Drew it plays a couple more times. It has important roles. Daniel Sanchez, for the love of God, like he plays a million times and just like flames out so hard every time he plays. There's so much important things that happen here, and that's episode 1 of season 1. If you've jumped in late and you need me to remind you what you missed, in terms of the big announcement, I will gladly share with you once again. We have the Big Brother Hometowns Wikipedia page, chock full of everything you'd ever want to know about Big Brother Hometowns. So if we go to the All-Stars page, you have all their information. You have a big voting chart. Every house guest that has ever played has their own page. We'll go to Alex's page with all his statistics, everything that you ever want to know about Alex. And then we have the Big Brother Hometowns YouTube channel with all 10 seasons in episode form and all kinds of extra content on here for you to thumb through and watch through. Lots of fun. And yeah.
It's all there.
It's all there.
Go watch it, y'all. It's
Do it.
so good.
If we don't have a separate tab in that Wikipedia page for just mine and Bradley and Mitchell's Alliance, like
One thing I'll consider doing is writing season summaries of the seasons and making alliance pages and doing all this stuff. But it's just so much work. And
that's
a lot of work. Yeah.
This was enough for now, but maybe in the future.
Yeah. If you want to be someone that does that out there and try and figure it all out, please be my guest, and we can more content, the better. So go through all that stuff, have a lot of fun with it, and buy a Big Brother Hometowns t-shirt. They are hot off the press. You can contact me for information about how to purchase one. And I think I'm out of things to say. This is the big announcement. So I hope that you guys all enjoyed this.
I'm so glad I came in late. I love that for me.
It's so good, Josh, Max. Thank you so much for all the work you guys put in on it. Like from like a fan perspective, like it's really cool to see as someone who played. It's really awesome to be able to go and thinking about season 6 right now as we speak. Like it's so good to be able to like have that. So thanks for all your work on that and for as we gear up for season 11, like the ways that this is going to be influential in that as well, I think is really, really cool. So
it amazes me to see all the growth from season 2. Like I remember seeing Josh saying posting about season 1, but I don't think I applied then because I was still in school.
I think I just posted that it existed because that season I just gathered my friends together and said, hey, come play.
Well, I remember I was in college, and the day I applied, I was waiting to go into one of my classes, and I was like, I'm just going to do it. I was like, that sounds so cool. And just to see the growth from that season until now, and now that I'm actually being able to somewhat help out when I can and just be a part of it, it's just so surreal. And it's just so cool to see how much it's changed since then. I love it. You guys have worked so hard.
Yeah, and we're not backing down. We're charging towards season 11. Like I said at the beginning, we're really excited about the people who have applied for season 11 and the people that we think we're going to be able to get for this season. I think it's going to be potentially another great season. I think it's going to be. I really think in a lot of ways that we're going to capture some of that season 1 magic in this new group of people, and that's what I'm kind of hoping for. And I think it's going to be really fun. And so that's it. That's all we got for tonight. And we'll maybe be back next week. We're 3 weeks in a row now on this, and it's been very fun. And so watch all the seasons, and probably coming up soon will be the season rankings because it's just been brewing. And we have to do it. And we've been talking about it.
Answer the question.
I know my opinion.
Yeah. All right, signing off for Abby Baxley, Gray Price, who left us, Max Teddy, Mitchell Stokes, and everyone in the Big Brother Hometowns community. Thank you. We'll see you soon for some intro videos for season 11. And that's it. Good night, everybody.
Woo.
Bye, guys.